Excuses for skipping the gym are starting to run out. It looks like New York Governor Andrew Cuomo finally announcing reopening guidance for gyms earlier today. Listen.
The gyms can open as soon as August 24th. One of the requirements is mandating masks at all times. The local health departments must inspect before or within 2 weeks to make sure all the guidelines are in place.
New York City Councilman Levin joins us now for more on this. We've had a bunch of things delayed. Gyms had sort of no end date in sight. How about indoor dining? Have you heard there's no date on that? Do you know anything about how that progress is going?
We haven't heard anything about indoor dining in recent weeks, but we have seen across the city a lot of restaurants have been able to set up the outdoor dining areas using parking space on the street. That's been really successful. And in my neighborhood, I live in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. I see a lot of restaurants taking advantage of that. Obviously, when it starts to get colder in the fall, we're gonna have to decide what to do. I'm open to exploring allowing for heating to be put outside or other ways to keep people comfortable. But I think the governor, by doing what he's doing, he's been really smart about being very, very careful and very cautious and very conservative with a small c about how we do this reopening. And we see in the numbers and the data that it's been pretty successful here in New York. Yeah. We went through hell back in April and May.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were a couple of problems. I mean, of course, we can't not mention the thousands of people that died in nursing homes as a result of his decision. But beyond that, one of the biggest problems, I'm sure rental vacancies in July were up 122% versus the same time last year. By a lot of estimates, 1 million people have moved out of New York and are not coming back. We personally know so many families who have left permanently for Florida, for Maine, for New Jersey, for other countries. And I'm wondering, it must be a huge topic within the city council of what are you going to do at the very least about the lost revenue for all the people who have committed to not coming back? Are you worried?
Absolutely. I mean, this year we had a $9 billion budget gap, and we're required to have a balanced budget. So that means we had to make $9 billion worth of cuts, basically. We're looking at a similar thing in this coming budget that is going to be for this coming year. It's devastating. I mean, we need help from the feds. We need a stimulus bill that will help for revenue replacement for localities. But long term, I mean, New York is going to take a long time to really build back. I mean, we're really worried about other types of commercial businesses, not just restaurants, but any other type of commercial business, just your bodega or your laundromat or places that have seen revenue drop off a cliff and have had a really hard time making the rent. And it goes all the way up and down the economic ladder because landlords, if they're not receiving the revenue, have a hard time making their mortgage payments. And then somewhere, somebody's got to step in and keep this thing going, or we're going to see people go out of business.
Right.
Employees laid off and foreclosures. I mean, we absolutely, kind of need all hands on deck. And that's why we so desperately need that federal help.
But do you see that there are a lot of people that don't think it's about that you can't just flood the zone with money from the feds. I mean, you have to address the reasons why people are leaving. And there are so many families. Yeah. Crime is through the roof. The streets are filthy. The quality of life in New York was on the decline long before COVID. And the people who have left are all the people with money. And the people that are staying behind are the people who can't leave. So you've got a really dire situation. I mean, what are your thoughts in City Council about addressing those reasons why people are leaving? That falls squarely in your court, in the hands of, that's what government's supposed to be doing, making the place clean, safe, and livable.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of belt tightening that's happening for sure. I mean, in the previous 7 years or so, we had a growing city budget every year, and so they were able to fund a lot of things that we really cared about that might not have been absolutely essential. This year, we went through the process of cutting a tremendous amount of priorities, even within the city council. We cut about $400 million of priorities out of this, just of city council priorities, out of 1.1 billion. So we cut about 35%, and it took us a long time to do it. So the belt tightening is going to have to continue and so when we see, I mean, the mayor just announced today, said you might expect to see even dirtier parks because the revenue is just not there. And so I'm confident that once things get back on track, and thank goodness we are at a low point in terms of our infection rate, so we can kind of slowly get back to some semblance of normalcy, and so people can continue to work, whether it's working remotely or social distancing within some type of office setting that's well ventilated, and so on and so forth. But so that we can really put a floor on that tax base, because our personal income tax, property tax, sales
it
tax,
seems
that's
like
what our revenue really is.
You're really in the camp of, you're really in the camp of spending more money, make these problems better. And a lot of people think it's about the policy. I mean, the mayor he doubled the spending on homelessness as that went through the roof. It seems like the solutions of where the money is being spent is what's the problem. We aren't letting police do their job. The city has degraded on so many levels as that budget, as you said, has expanded really quickly. It's not about the money in a lot of people's eyes. It's about better policy, no?
Well, I think that generally our quality of life has actually been pretty good over the last decade. I think that we need, I think that we really need as a bridge to about a year from now, when things, hopefully when there's a vaccine that comes on the market, and I'm very hopeful that by all accounts is, all these are in development into the beginning of next year. The calendar year, hopefully a bridge just to get us across. But so far, just to be clear, we haven't, after that first stimulus bill back in April, we haven't seen a dollar from the federal government. So we did a tremendous amount of belt tightening here in the city. It's hard. It's hard because it's also, it's the economy all the way up and down.
Yeah, we had a lot of vacancies and a lot of squeegee men before COVID came along. But we'll continue this conversation. I wish we had more time. Come back soon. Thank you, sir.